Welcome back, Proppers. This week's project will be the T-45D helmet from Fallout. Brace yourself, this is a long video and I'm hoping that you'll stick with me to the end. We'll be using templates from one of my favorite YouTube foamsmiths, Thomas Hanna from Much Props. Although Thomas has done much of the heavy lifting, this is still a very challenging project. And of course, as always, we'll be using Stephen K's HD foam from SKS Props. You can purchase your HD foam from Blick Art Supplies. I start off by cutting out the multiple template pieces and separating them into piles based on the size EVA foam I'll be using. The pieces are then cut out of their respective size EVA foam. For this project, we'll be using 2mm, 4mm, 6mm, and 10mm HD foam. To make the project simpler to follow, all of the external markings on the templates will be transferred onto the EVA foam. There are many circles to this project, so I'll be using my plastic circle template to get a true representation of the paper template. The majority of the pieces are cut out with my X-Acto knife, but for a truer cut with some of the 10mm pieces, I utilize my bandsaw. The templates are printed out on standard letter-size cardstock, so some of the larger pieces have to be taped together before being cut out of the EVA foam. All of the registration marks are also transferred onto the EVA foam. We'll start by heat forming the larger sections to get the proper curvature. Contact cement is applied to all of the edges, and then all of the darts are closed. Each half of the helmet will be assembled separately before joining the two together, leaving out the bottom jaw section until last. When the two halves are completed, they're attached together with contact cement, following all the registration marks. Attaching the outer edges first will lessen the need for sanding later. There is a recessed section to the top and back of the head, so this section will have to be cut out. The cutout piece can be used to create that inner recess. Just add a ½ inch of material around the entire outer edges. Contact cement is used to attach that piece to the inside of the helmet. Be careful not to distort the curvature of the helmet while attaching that piece. After marking out the exact position, the outer eye sections are hand-formed and then attached to the front of the helmet with contact cement. Once again, be mindful of the curvature of the helmet while attaching all these pieces. All of the circle pieces are then rounded and smooth in preparation for attachment to the helmet. Strips of 2mm EVA foam are used to create the gears for the outer ring of the ear section. The individual rings of the earpiece are attached together with contact cement. A wedged bump out is created on the back of the helmet to accommodate the oxygen canister. The oxygen canister will be created from a strip of 10mm EVA foam. Small grooves will be channeled down the sides for extra detailing. The canister is then rolled into a tube and then sealed into place with contact cement. The ends are capped off with foam circles. The two elements of the voice emitter are attached together with contact cement before being attached to the front of the helmet. A strip of 4mm EVA foam is attached to the outer perimeter of the voice emitter for extra detailing. The mounts for the oxygen hoses are attached to each side of the front of the helmet. The button details above the voice emitter are also attached with contact cement. A hole punch is used to create an indentation on the button detailing. Small wedges will be created from 10mm EVA foam to place between the nose bridge and the eyepiece, as well as from the top of the eyepiece to the indentation on the top of the helmet to create a smooth transition for the strip that will run down the center of the helmet. The strip is also created from 10mm EVA foam. The extra foam is cut off with my X-Acto knife, and the entire project is smoothed and rounded with my Dremel rotary tool. After smoothing out a few problem areas with foam clay, I get started on creating the helmet's laser targeting system. The laser targeting system will be created from 4 and 6mm EVA foam. For free templates and more detailed instructions for this project, go to the original builder's site, Much Props, Thomas Hanna. To give the laser sighting a little mobility, a piece of armature wire is sandwiched between two pieces of 4mm EVA foam. The laser cannon is created by wrapping an 1¼ inch wooden dowel with 4mm EVA foam. Spray adhesive is used to attach 2mm EVA foam strips to the laser cannon for extra detailing. The bottom jaw section can now be attached to the base of the helmet with contact cement. A 1/2 inch margin of contact cement is attached to the inner edge of the helmet and the outer edge of the lower jaw. The lower jaw is attached, aligning the straight edge with the back center of the helmet. The earpieces are now attached using contact cement. Laser targeting system can now be attached. The laser cannon is sanded and smoothed with my Dremel rotary tool and then attached to the targeting system with contact cement. The oxygen canister can now be attached to the back wedge bump out on the helmet. Several hole punches are used to create the rivets and the connections for the smaller hoses of the helmet. All of which will be attached with instant glue. The smaller of the two helmet hoses will be attached with contact cement from the front right just under the eye socket to the rear wedge bump out. The hose will be created from a foam dowel and will be secured to the side of the helmet with contact cement. Four rivets are attached to the eye socket a half-inch off of the nose bridge. Strips of 2mm EVA foam are attached to the nose bridge between the rivets for extra detailing. The larger of the two helmet hoses will be placed on the left side of the mask in a comparable position to the smaller hose. The headlamp is created from 6mm and 10mm foam and attached to the helmet with contact cement. A 2mm strip is attached to the inside of the headlamp as a stop point for the lens. The headlamp is positioned and attached to the helmet with contact cement. Instead of the original design of a perforated targeting system, I decided to go with rivets. The entire project is given 2 coats of black Plasti Dip, and then I gave it a misting of brick red and silver spray paint. I decided to install a red laser for the siding and a white LED for the headlamp, all of which will be controlled and powered by a 9-volt battery pack. The lights will be soldered in a series connection. Be aware that some lights are polarized and must go in a specific direction. After a quick testing, holes are drilled into the helmet to insert the lights. The lamps are locked into place with hot glue, The battery pack is gray taped to the inside top of the helmet. I'll be using the bottom of a water bottle as the lens cover. Some final riveting details attached to the recessed section of the top and back of the helmet. The 4mm foam rivets are attached with instant glue. The entire project is then given a diluted wash of red ochre. The rivets and other key points are painted silver. I painted the hoses bright yellow like the Much Prop build, but at this point I'm not too sure about it. The original build has a small petcock on the right front of the mask. I decided to create that out of 10mm EVA foam. After sanding down the valve, I saturated it with instant glue to stiffen it up before painting and attaching it to the helmet. I decided that the ring around the voice emitter was a little too bright, so I darkened it up a bit. 2mm straps were glued down to the side of the hoses. I decided to further stray from the original build and put a little color inside the laser cannon. Maybe a bit more than a little color. And yes, that bright yellow hose did start to bother me a bit, so I decided to dull it down as much as I could with a little wash of red ochre. I also used the red ochre to provide a little contrast in some other key points. For the eye lenses, I purchased this shaded shield from Amazon. First, I created a cardstock template before cutting out the lens. I also marked out the lens positioning inside the helmet. After cutting the lens shape out of the shaded shield, it was attached inside the helmet with hot glue. To avoid damaging the lens, I waited till the last minute to remove the plastic-coated protector. This made the process a little more difficult, but less costly. The front hose nodules were sanded down and augmented with another piece of 10mm EVA foam. The new hoses were secured by compression and contact cement. Openings for the hose were slot cutted into the back canister, and the hoses were compressed into the slots. Strips of leather lacing was used to tie the hose down to the side of the helmet. The sides of the helmet that were cut in two for the lacing were reinforced with strips of 4mm EVA foam. The lacing was forced through the hole and tied off from the inside. Any excess lacing was cut off. To finish off this project, all of the shiny metal parts of the hoses were dulled down with some red ochre and Mars black. And that marks the end of this week's project. As always, thanks for watching. I appreciate your support. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, press that like button, and press the bell notification so you'll be notified when each new project is uploaded. Also, don't forget to support me by buying my action-adventure series, Inherent Evil, Escaping the Green Abyss, and my brand new one about to come out any moment, Mob Life in the Hood. A very disturbing statistic. Nearly 90% of my viewers are not subscribed. Let's get this taken care of. Yeah, I mean you know who you are.